All right, we will wrap up with head coach Oscar Pareja. Oscar, another big win for the team, another shutout victory. Just how do you feel about the performance tonight?
Um, we feel very well. Uh, I would like to remark the discipline of the players in a very difficult game. It seems like we were precise in the moments that we needed the most. But the discipline and the commitment that we all have with the structure of the team just allow us to survive in moments where New England as well had their chances. So while we're growing collectively, the team will have a better chances to have performances like this and winning more points. So we're happy with it. Now within the game, I thought we had control, and when we had the chances, that is something that just made me very optimistic. For what is coming is that we are precise in the box. We're scoring goals again, and that makes us look like we're in a good pace. Congratulations to the players, to the fans. Thanks for joining us today, and see them in the standings always will be very encouraging for us.
Austin, then Michael?
Oscar, kind of a lot of similarities from that game against Nashville, where New England had that first 15 minutes of kind of pressing you back and forcing a couple turnovers, and then you get the goal and everything opens up for you, and it seemed like you really didn't look back from that point. And obviously the scoreline was exactly the same. How much just the consistency, I guess, of those two games kind of building for the last 75 minutes of the game has kind of given you confidence over the course of the couple weeks leading into the final 6 games of the season now?
It's right. The first 13, 14 minutes, it was a game with no domination from either. I would say that probably they have more control of the ball. But we knew that New England would put some numbers up front. And I'm not going to say that we did that on purpose, but we knew that if they make us defend in that lower block, it will be convenient to use spaces in behind because they were fragile in that part. Not that we wanted to plan it, we wanted just to keep the same pace that we have. But that's exactly what happened with Nashville, and then today we did similar. Not that we won, but we survived in that moment of New England's control, and then we hurt them.
Well, Michael, then Mike.
Oscar, congratulations on the win. They say that a 2-0 lead is the most dangerous lead in soccer. You guys had a 2-0 lead. They got a dangerous free kick. Galese made a spectacular save on Carlos Hill. How important was that to keep that 2-goal lead at that point, and how big was that for your team to see out the game?
I was worried about two things. With this fecha FIFA that take 3 or 4 players out of our roster, and they come 2 days before, and continue with that momentum is difficult. When we went to Kansas City, it was hard for us to get the pace of the league again. And today I was worried about it, but we overcome that, so we're good. But when we were 2-0, that was my main concern, what you just remarked. I said, we cannot let him believe in that game, and we need the third goal. If not, it will be complicated. And then it comes that free kick that you mentioned, that Pedro saves there, and they have a couple chances too. I want to be optimistic and happy, but I want to be with my feet on the ground with our players, knowing that it was a big challenge today. It was not that easy, and especially when we were 2-0. And then Duncan came in and just gave us that piece of scoring and put the game away from them.
Go to Mike and then to Ronnie.
Oscar, I wanted to follow up on that answer. 2-part question, I guess. You mentioned obviously you guys needing that third goal to secure the victory. Your impressions on the subs basically playing a part in that third goal when Nico was able to get the ball in and find Duncan for that third goal. But the other question is your impressions on how Wilder and Cesar were able to kind of hold down Carlos Hill today, knowing he is a guy for New England that at any given moment when he finds that open space, he could penetrate and obviously make things work, bad for you guys. But how were your impressions on those two players as well, and how they were able to kind of contain him tonight as well?
Right. I think our midfielders today had a big challenge. First, because the opponent and Hill is a tremendous player. The way he gains spaces in your back is incredible. Then it seems like when he receives the ball there is very difficult to control and his technique and so we had a challenge today, but we solved it sometimes better. I don't want to say that we win it, that dueling. I think in some parts he did win it. He did win it because he gained that space. But the challenge as well with Cesar and Wilder was the yellow card that Wilder had early, and I was on top of him telling them just take care of them, be conscious about it, and that reduced the intensity that they have on the opponent, so they look fragile. And Cesar was playing with a yellow card caution, or like he if he get a yellow card, he will be suspended for the next game. So controlling that for those two midfielders is very difficult. So I had empathy with them and say, well, I know that they were not going to have the best game because they have that in the top of them, and they have one of the best number 10s in the league. So it was a challenge, but fortunately we solved it.
Ronnie and then Chris.
Profe, buenas noches. Ronnie Herrera para Citylenial Internacional. Profe, felicitarlo, una gran victoria el día de hoy. Hemos visto un equipo más compacto, más organizado, más unido. Lo digo porque en el primer gol vemos una jugada de un ABP bien elaborada, con un excelente gol que nos regala Rafael Santos. Un segundo gol, el cual hacen una presión alta en el penal, en el que Facundo Torres logra finalizar. Y en el segundo tiempo realiza dos cambios, uno con Duncan y Nicolás Lodeiro. ¿Puede decirme si ha logrado encontrar el equipo ideal con esas asociaciones que ha logrado formar?
Sí, yo también estoy de acuerdo porque el partido se definió en los dos primeros goles con pelotas quietas, un penal y una pelota de córner. Martín Pellerman, nuestro asistente, ha sido muy incisivo con ellos en la importancia de poder destrabar los partidos con una pelota quieta, y hoy lo hicimos. Y es muy necesario eso. Ahora encontramos el equipo. Bueno, yo creo que hemos tenido consistencia con los rendimientos de ellos, y los que entran, que son también tan titulares como los que salen, nos hace un equipo con un lujo de sustituciones. Entonces, a mí me alegra, porque tengo un gran respeto por esos jugadores que son titulares y juegan 20 a 30 minutos o 10 y lo hacen con esa responsabilidad. Eso nos hace mejores.
Well, Chris, and then wrap up with Michael.
Excuse me. Quick question. So you have a short turnaround this week, 2 short turnarounds with Charlotte, and then you have the game on Saturday. How have you prepared for that coming in? Or are you just going one game at a time, since we're getting towards the end of the season and playoff time coming?
Right. Normally, Chris, when we have these scenarios where we evaluate the team tomorrow, and I want to see the tape as well, and then see if our what we see in the line is what it was. But I know we have these games coming with that proximity among them. It's important that we keep the players fresh. Well, it's important that we continue with the momentum of them. This game is mental, and I think just help them to, in the election of the players, help them to be in the best moment, not just the one who started, but the ones who came in. So tomorrow we train at 10 in the morning, It's obviously going to be a regeneration, and then on Monday and Tuesday we will prepare the game. But today I'm more um, uh, I'm more confident because this long wait to play this is difficult. Now just let him do it again. So we see we have good options. Duncan is ready. He has a tremendous week too. Ramiro is playing well. Martin is playing well. But the boys, Nico, Luis, Duncan, Felipe, Jutaro, they come on in the game fresh and they make us better. So that's good.
We'll wrap up with Michael.
Oscar, I wanted to ask you about Facu. For such a young player, he's very quickly become Orlando City's best penalty taker, probably in the franchise history. A lot of talented guys are not good at that part of the game. What is it about him that makes him so lethal from the spot?
Well, it's a good question, Michael, because taking a PK brings a lot of elements there: confidence, talent, preparation, the mental part in that moment, in that part of the game. But Facu's attitude when the PKs come, and including one that he lost, and he's very confident. He wants to do it. So that part, that mental part, we have a good option to score on him with him, and also he trained it as well. They spend time on that part, and we continually say this is not something that comes. You got to train it well. So hopefully we can have, or we can keep that success on with him and help us.